So that's why we got to talk to somebody else. And I know, again, let me go back to our community, because this is scary. Like, we already don't trust the medical community.
Right.
So we definitely don't need you in our head, because y'all have already proven that y'all will mess up black people's heads.
Yeah.
Historically, we know that. And so, and I want to talk a little bit about, because it's not just black women. Our black men
Absolutely.
are dealing with a lot. And we've seen things played out on the national screen, on our televisions, on our cell phones, of things that are happening to our men. And they have to go out in this world and face all of that and then come back home to us and bring us, like, what are they bringing us,
I have a son. I have an African American son.
I have a son.
And aside from prayer, right, I also have to teach him how to do things differently. Optics are important because there are assumptions.
Yeah.
There are stigmatisms, and there are stigmas that are out there. There are things that are going on, and if we don't teach them not to be fearful, but to be wise.
Yeah.
If you are pulled over, please don't reach for anything. Communicate, articulate what's going on, right?
Yeah.
We have to be mindful of that, and it's unfortunate, but it's reality.
Yeah.
When I think about our sons and husbands, our black men as well, I think about how them even sharing their feelings and their thoughts, how they fear being judged as weak.
Absolutely.
Oh, and the toxic masculinity that
Absolutely.
exists in black men that say you cannot feel, you cannot show your feelings,
You cannot cry.
you cannot cry.
So we have to give them space to show their feelings,
Absolutely.
cry,
Yeah.
ask for help. Ask for help.
Even offer it. Make the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes they don't want to go to a
You're
therapist.
not going to go.
There are some therapists that will come to you. Or there are therapists that you can pull up on the screen. I mean, we're in the technological era now. You can, have a video session with a therapist. Or just even say, what can I do for you today to make life a little bit easier? How can I help you today? How can I love you better today?
Yeah, that's a great question. How can I love you better? Something that I've implemented in my home is we, in the South, we go, how you doing? Oh, I'm good.
And that's the
I'm
conversation, right?
So we don't, in my household now, we ask this question every day, how are you feeling? And we force ourselves to now put a word there. Not, no, good, no, no, I'm okay, no. What does okay mean? What does good mean when you say I'm feeling good? When I'm not so good, what does it mean? And so now we have these conversations where we can talk about it more. Right. What I'm really feeling, what I'm really dealing with. And we just started this in 2022.
What does it look like? What does it feel like?
Yes,
What color
in
is it?
2022.
What does it smell like?
Yeah.
Right?
And that is not forever. That's what I had to tell my kids. It is temporary.
And
This
it's okay
is not
to feel.
who you are, right? So you might be sad today.
Yes.
That's not who you are.
Yes.
That's just how you feel today, and helping them understand the difference.
When we block emotions, it's blocked both ways. So if I'm stoic and I'm not going to feel happy, then I'm not going to feel totally sad. I'm numb.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not experiencing life. You're not living. You're just existing. So being open to allowing the connection of normal anger, sadness, grief for a period of time.
Right.
When it takes too long, then you need to do some interventions there, because then you can really stay stuck.
And it's something I want to talk through as well, because we are kind of in this post-pandemic society, and we're not okay. And we've not had time to process, I think, the trauma of COVID-19. And so we're hearing this rise in suicides among black men. And, we went through pandemic and social unrest at the same time, which really disproportionately impacted black people on both fronts. And so we're not okay. And this is normal after natural disasters, and the pandemic was a natural disaster. But where is the solution? How do we get relief? How do we move forward as a community and process what we've experienced together?
One of the ways that I see that has been effective in us moving forward is we're talking about it.
Right.
As we are here today, we're talking about it and not covering it up and making it hush-hush. I think that the church has a huge opportunity now to really impact the Black community. And with having this conversation,
Right.
being a resource though for referral to
Thank you.
to those who are licensed and specialize in providing the support and providing the services that are needed to help us heal.
And I gotta say, y'all, because our people were spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
We are rooted in our spirituality, but a lot of times we think that that's a substitute.
Mm-hmm.
Or that's the end all be all. So if I have a mental problem, just pray about it. If I'm depressed, just pray about it. If I need to talk to someone, go talk to pastor. But helping Black people understand that you need additional beyond your spirit.
Exactly. That's why I said the church has this opportunity to do that. When politicians look for votes, where do they go?
The church.
To the church. I think we need to sip on that one, child.
They go to the church, okay?
Yes.
They do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they go to the church, right? And so I want to see people like you, Doctor, in the church, talking to people about these very things that we're talking about now, saying it. In fact, I'm going to invite you. In my church, we've opened the door for it.
Good.
We've opened the door for it. We're talking about it. We have a list of counselors and therapists' names who are licensed.
Wow.
Who are educated, because we realize the Bible says something that's so interesting. It says that we have to work out
Come on now.
our own soul salvation.
Come on now.
And when you talk about the soul salvation, I'm talking about the mind, the will, and intellect, our emotions. That's the work that we have to do. It's not, prayer is a part of it, but prayer is not the end of it. That's not the end all. When we're talking about our healing and our emotional and our mental healing.
Right.
And I like to tell the people in the church also that God got people everywhere.
Correct.
Yes.
He's got very educated and
Correct.
therapists, doctors who are available. And so I think that when you go back to what you were saying, that church has a huge opportunity to be a part of that, opening that door that we can be healed post-pandemic. And really, really, when we talk about being made whole.
Absolutely.
By offering and inviting people like you, Doctor, in and providing this information to get the people not to leave, prayer, but you got to come outside of the 4 walls of the church, because there is help for you. There's healing for you.
Absolutely.
And faith without works is dead.
Come on now.
Faith without works is dead. I mean, yeah, we can pray about it. We can fast. We can do everything that we're supposed to do. But at the end of the day, what are we doing about it?
Right.
What action are we taking? Because we're co-creators in our own destiny. We're co-creators in our own life.
Yeah.
How are we feeling, replenishing ourselves? We cannot pour from an empty cup. And right now there are a lot of empty cups.
A lot of empty cups.
A lot of empty cups.
Empty cups.
Completely.
Nothing left.
And I think when we change the narrative and start to say, I'm going to put some boundaries in place. No, Mama, I can't do that for you today because I am not okay and I need to take a moment for myself. No, son, you need to figure that out. No, daughter, no, husband. When we start putting boundaries in place, people don't really like that. They feel some type of way.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you're not replenishing, you can't pour.
No.
And during the pandemic, we also found out that a lot of people don't like themselves. Because when you take away the restaurants and the gym and all these social outlets,
Now you gotta sit with yourself.
people, oh, I don't really like that. I don't really like me. Oh, my children are amazing. We saw an increase in child abuse allegations.
Right.
We saw, we saw a lot of things going on.
Yeah, domestic violence,
We saw a lot of things
divorce,
going on.
right?
Absolutely. Because people are not, they don't know who they are. They're not doing the work. They're not searching. They're not connecting. They're not aware. They're not woke, as you would say, because you don't know you. And so this post-pandemic, how do we fix it? Figure out who you are. Take the journey.
Yes.
Do the work.
Yes.
What do you like? What do you not like? Why do you like that?
Yeah.
What can you do by yourself? Have you ever taken yourself to the movies alone? Have you ever had dinner by yourself? What does that look like? Because if you don't like being with you,
Nobody else will.
nobody's going to like to be with you either.
And that's why so many people aren't themselves.
Correct.
Oh.
Another sippable moment. So, I know we're coming to our time. How can people find you if they need your help? Like, what services do you provide? Can people reach out to you all for help?
Well, I'm a certified life coach here. I am currently studying clinical mental health because I wanted to be able to make a greater impact. And so anybody who does want to work with me as a coach, they can find me at DetrellHawkins.com or on any social media outlet at Detrell Hawkins.
Great. Did you add to that?
Well, I am transitioning into some different things right now.
All right.
So I am not accepting new clients. However, I love referring people out.
Okay.
So Zoe Holistics, that's ZoeHolistics.com. Reach out and I will definitely find a good provider for you, a good fit for you. Because I'm taking care of me.
Good. Very good.
Transitioning.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Any final words, ladies? How can we help our people move forward and get better health, get better mental health for themselves?
So there are tons of resources out there. There's the Crisis Access Line, the Georgia Crisis Access Line. It's GCAL, and it is available 24/7. If an individual needed a counselor to come to them because there's some type of emergency going on, whether it's through substance abuse or suicidal ideations, you can call that number, and I'll get to it in just a second. It's in my notebook. But there's also the Crisis Text Line, and that's texting the word HOME, HOME, to 741-741. And that is a live counselor on the other end that will respond, and a lot of the teens use it. They love it. My GCAL also has an app that you can download. So there's therapy right at your fingertips.
Nice.
There's lots of help out there and people willing to help you. Also want to tell you, therapy is confidential.
Right.
A lot of the reasons